Chemistry entries for exam April 2018. Question 3a. Which rock is the softest? It will be rock A. Why? Because it can be scratched by the fingernail and the copper coin and the knife blade and the steel file. Question BI. What is the relative hardness of rock E? Rock E can be scratched by copper coin, knife blade, and the steel file. Which one you will choose? 3 or 4 or 5 or 6? You will choose the least one. Okay, because it can be scratched by the copper coin, so you will choose number 3. Question I. What is the relative hardness of rock that can be scratched with steel file but not scratched with glass? It will be 6. Question C. Rocks form in different ways. Which type of rocks form when lava from a volcano cools down? It will be igneous rock. Question 5a. The reaction between an acid and an alkali is called neutralization. Question B. The reaction between iron and copper sulfate to form iron sulfate and copper is called displacement reaction. Question C. When baking powder reacts with vinegar, the mixture gets colder. This is because the reaction is endothermic reaction. Question A. Why is it important to have evidence to back up a scientific statement? To check whether it's correct or not. Question B. Describe how Maya uses an indicator to collect evidence for her statement. Include name of the indicator and the result. Here you can write litmus paper and the result with the acid will be red. Or you can write universal indicator and the results with the acid can be orange or yellow or red. Question 11. How many electrons are there in one atom of aluminium? 13. Question B. Which scientist discovered the structure of the atom? Rutherford. Question C. In which group of the periodic table is aluminium found? How we will know the group from the number of the electrons in the last shell. Here it will be group 3. Question D. Aluminium is used in circuit boards and batteries for mobile phones. Use ideas about properties to explain why. Because aluminium is good conductor of electricity, or you can write because it's ductile or malleable or flexible. Question E. Aluminium burns in air to form a compound. When an element burns, this means it reacted with oxygen. So here, aluminium with oxygen, what is the name of the compound produced? It will be aluminium oxide. Methyl carbonates react with acids. A salt and 2 other chemicals are made. Name the other 2 chemicals. They will be water and carbon dioxide. Paper 2. Question 2a. Tick the boxes next to the 2 correct statements about gases. Gases can flow to fill a container, and the particles in a gas are arranged randomly. The first and the third one. Question B. A gas changes into a liquid during condensation. What happens to the particles during condensation? Gas particles will lose energy, gain attraction force, move less. They will slide over each other, turning into liquid. Question 5a. Complete the column heading. The heading will be the number of bubbles. The results for C, if you counted them, you will find them 15 bubbles. And D, they will be 3. Question B. Describe how Europe could improve his method to find the volume of the gas. You will choose the first one. Collect the gas in a measuring cylinder. Question C. Yuri predicted that if he used more concentrated acid, he will get a faster reaction. Is Yuri's prediction supported by his results? Yes. Why? Because there were more bubbles. Question A. The reaction between lithium plus water will give lithium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Question B. Which of these substances is an element? It will be lithium. Why? Because it's made up of only one type of atom. Question C. Describe how the reactivity of group 1 metals changes as you go down the group. The reactivity increases. Question 11. Name particle Y and Z. In the nucleus, how will you differentiate between the protons and the neutrons? The number of the protons are equal to the number of the electrons. Here the electrons are 5 and the white circles are 5. So here Z will be protons and Y will be neutrons. Now we will answer exam October 2018. Question 2a. This fossil is the oldest shown in the diagram. How can you tell? You will write it is the one at the bottom. Okay. Double I. Which rock is sedimentary rock? It will be sandstone. Question B. Metamorphic rocks form when other rocks are changed by heat and pressure. Question 5a. Iron with copper sulfate will give iron sulfate plus copper, because the iron is more reactive than copper. Question B. Arrange those metals according to their reactivity. The copper cannot displace zinc or iron, so it's less reactive than both of them. The iron can displace copper but cannot displace zinc, so it's less reactive than zinc. Zinc can displace both. So here the most reactive one will be zinc, then iron, then copper. Question C. What name describes a reaction that gives out heat? Exothermic reaction. Question D. His teacher suggested that he change his experiment to find out which reaction gives out the most heat. How he will change his experiment? By measuring the temperature before and after adding the metal. By measuring the temperature before and after adding the metals. Question 8a. Which substance is a gas? If you looked at the table, you will find that substance D can be squashed. So why we chose D? Because it could be squashed. Question B. Which two substances are solid? They will be A and C. Why? Because they couldn't fill the syringe with the substance. They have fixed shape. They didn't take the shape of the syringe. Question 11a. Name the part of the atom labeled X. It will be electrons. Question B. How can you tell that the element is in group 4 from the number of the electrons in the last energy level or in the outer shell? Question C. What happens to the size of atoms as you move down group 4? It will increase or get bigger. Paper 2. Question 2a. Complete the table to show the type of compound formed by different nonmetals. Chlorine will form chloride. Oxygen will form oxide. Question B. Iron reacts with a compound and oxygen to form rust. What is the name of this compound? It will be water. Question 7a. Write down the volume of the gas collected after 6 minutes. It will be 40. Question B. He will use warm dilute sulfuric acid instead of the cold one, so the reaction will be faster. Predict the volume of the gas collected after 2 minutes. Any number above 22 will be right. Question C. Carlos used more concentrated sulfuric acid, and he is asking you why the reaction is faster and use ideas about particles and collision. So you will write the more concentrated the acid, the more number of the particles, so the more the collisions. Question 10. Put the metals in order of reactivity. The most reactive metal will take the least time. So here the most reactive will be calcium, then magnesium, then zinc, then iron. Question B. Write the reaction between magnesium and hydrochloric acid. Magnesium plus hydrochloric acid will give magnesium chloride plus hydrogen. Question C. Yusuf and Blessy wear safety glasses during the investigation. Why? To protect their eyes from the splashes of chemicals. Question 12. Look at those substances. He wants you to sort them into compounds and elements. The compounds will be magnesium carbonate and water. The elements will be carbon, as he wrote for you, copper, and sulfur. Question B. Tick right next to the correct answer. Mixtures can be separated by physical means. The second one. Question 2. Magnesium carbonate reacts with an acid to make magnesium nitrate. What will be the name of the acid? It will be nitric acid. Here the diagram is showing water changing from a liquid to water vapor. Complete the sentences. Some of the molecules have more energy. These molecules move faster enough to escape the surface of the liquid. This is called evaporation. This makes the liquid become, you can write gas will be right, water vapor will be right, or cooler will be right.